Good evening and welcome to the Taft City Council meeting for Tuesday, August 20th, 2013. As always, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Randy Miller and an invocation by Jack Turner of the Peace Lutheran Church.
Please join me as we salute our nation's flag. Hand over your heart and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening and give you all praise and glory in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. We ask that you bless this council meeting this day. I ask that you bless the councilman with wisdom and knowledge to be able to make decisions that would benefit this city according to thy will. We ask also, Father, that you bless each and every one of them that just attend us this evening with a safe journey home. This we ask all in thy Son, named Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Thank you, Jack.
Remind people about something.
We've got a rather large crowd here tonight. If I could remind you all to please silence your cell phones. I'll do the same thing. Thank you. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Lickett.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Squire.
Here.
Councilmember North. Councilmember North.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
I don't know, we're not similar, but it sounds kind of...
It truly does.
I'm here.
And Councilmember Walker.
Here.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda tonight is a study session, a presentation by Tiffany Rao, I hope I said that right, of Hydrogen Energy of California, HECA, on the proposed operations and facility in the Tutman area. Hydrogen Energy California, Energy Solutions for California.
Thank you. Is this working? Is the mic working?
Sounds like it.
Yes? Okay.
And I hope, did I get your name right?
You got my name right, Tiffany
Wow.
Rao from Hydrogen Energy California. Some people call it HECA and some people call it HECA. I'd like to introduce my colleague too, Mr. Ed Western. Where'd you go? Okay. I have a short presentation. Some people have seen me give a presentation on this project. I have shortened this in order to allow for questions and answers. And if you get me into some technical weeds that I need Ed's assistance with, I will ask him to come up to the mic and help me out if that's okay.
There you go.
And I'll mention just to start that Ed and I have both been working on this particular project since its inception at the end of 2007. So we've been working on it for quite some time, and I will admit that I am long overdue to be coming before you. We wanted to bring the project, explain it, have you understand the highlights, and ask any questions or concerns that you might have of things that you've heard or things that you want to know more about. Okay. You have two handouts in front of you. Unfortunately, I don't think you have these particular slides. A misstep on our part, but we will get them to you. But what you do have in front of you from us is an economic impact analysis that I'll mention in a couple slides, as well as a a study about uses of how to recycle and reuse a waste stream that we've heard there are concerns about. So I brought you the technical report for you to peruse if you'd like. In a nutshell, the Hydrogen Energy California project is it's an alternative energy project with a kind of a variety of different components. First and foremost, it is a project where we take a solid fossil fuels, in this case coal and petroleum coke, and we convert them through a gasification process. We convert the fossil fuels into hydrogen that will be used to generate electricity, as well as to manufacture fertilizer. And in the process of converting the fuel to hydrogen, we capture the CO2 rather than venting it to the atmosphere, compress that CO2, and transport it to nearby oil fields, in this case Elk Hills, for injection into the oil field so that for what's called enhanced oil recovery. So the CO2 goes into the oil field rather than being vented to the atmosphere and helps produce more oil. As far as some of the key components, this is a 300 megawatt power plant. That is commercial scale. It is not huge, but it is commercial scale. Fertilizer was added to this project in 2011 when the current owners, which a company called SCS, bought the project from BP and Rio Tinto. And when they were looking at whether or not to buy the project, they did some kind of local surveying and found out that local farmers would utilize and appreciate a local supply of fertilizer. Many people don't realize that California imports over 90% of its fertilizer today. So they added that to help with the economics of the project and to provide an additional local benefit. Enhanced oil recovery, I've mentioned already. We'll be actually capturing roughly 3 million tons of CO2, and that's about, I'm going to say, how much oil potentially generated per year?
We hope that they'll get 50 or 100 million. Right?
Over time.
Yes.
Over time. Okay. And then the burying or the sequestering of the CO2 has a greenhouse gas emission benefit in compliance with AB 32 and other efforts, cap and trade, et cetera, to lower the state's carbon emissions. Just if you're not familiar where the project is located, it's near Tupman. It's basically next to the Tule Elk Reserve off the 5 Stockdale Highway. It was sited there intentionally to be near and adjacent to the oil field. In addition, it's somewhat close to a non-potable water supply, which was a requirement for us in order to site a power plant in California. And it's close to tie-ins to the load center for the electric grid. We have about a 1,200 acre property, and we'll be utilizing about 500 acres for the plant itself, and the rest of it will continue to be farmed. From an economic benefit standpoint, and what you have in front of you is kind of an economic model analysis performed by Implan that estimates not only how many direct jobs there will be. Of course, we have already penciled out that we'll need roughly 2,400 jobs during construction. It's a 4-year construction period, and up to about 200 million permanent operational jobs when the facility is built. But in addition, we look at how many ancillary and indirect jobs will be created, and services and economic activity, and that's kind of all detailed in the report. I actually noticed that they missed some things like lodging, for example. We need a lot of lodging, especially during construction. So there are things that aren't counted in there, and it doesn't include the oil field piece, which is also projected to be quite significant investment and jobs as well. Just to give people a feel, we're in the permitting process. We're about 2/3 through. The primary permitting agency is the California Energy Commission. That's under state law for siting and licensing power plants that you go through the California Energy Commission, in addition to getting input from at least 100, if not more, other regulatory agencies, including, of course, Kern County, and they have weighed in on some mitigation measures that they'd like to be incorporated into the permit, and we are fine with all of them. But this is a list of kind of the multitude of analyses and considerations and things that have been looked at relative to the plant and its potential environmental impacts. Just to, really quickly, I'm not going to go into this unless you want to, but we do generate a significant amount of what we call gasification solids. The folks in the industry tend to call it slag. We'll be generating approximately 300 tons per year. And
So it's 300,000.
300,000 tons excuse me, which is significant and is a concern that it not become a waste and that it not be put into landfills. And we understand that, so we've done two things. The first of which is we agreed to a $75 per ton additional fee to be paid to the county for every ton that would need to be landfilled. We did that as a signal to show that that is a complete and total disincentive for a project developer to use that as an option. That's in addition to tipping fees and waste hauling fees and everything else. So very significant. But in order to kind of demonstrate that we can and will and have a market for how to use the gasification solids, there's a plant in Japan that's very similar to this, and they ran what our mixture of coal and petroleum coke will be through their gasifier, and then we had it tested in labs and have sent it to potential vendors to see if they would be in the market to purchase it. And the primary markets here are roofing, blasting grit, cement manufacturer, and they're all within reasonable proximity to, and there is a lot of volume potential of what they'd be willing to purchase. In addition, our CEO, chairman, and primary owner has said that he doesn't believe he'll be able to close on financing without having all of this locked up. So I just wanted to, I know that's an issue for you, and I just wanted to go into it a little bit more. As far as, and this is my last slide, schedule, where are we? I mentioned we think we're about 2/3 through the permitting process. We recently received our final determination of compliance from the Air District, the San Joaquin Air District. We have a preliminary staff assessment from the California Energy Commission, and we are planning to hold public workshops, 3 days of public workshops in September. Actually, we're not holding them, the CEC is holding them. And then we would expect by the end of the year or first quarter of next year to get our final assessment, staff assessment, evidentiary hearings and approvals from the CEC, commence construction sometime in 2014, for us the earlier the better, and start operations in 2018 and be fully commercially operational in 2019. And then the one thing I think I've left out of here, well, there's probably several things, but we have a competitively awarded grant from the Department of Energy for over $400 million because they consider this somewhat of a flagship project. A lot of people in the world, the nation and the world, are actually watching to see this technology, I would say demonstrated, but actually all the technology is in use today in one form or the other. What's unique is that we're putting it all together because industry hasn't really had to do anything with their CO2 emissions, and now there's a drive to do that. So I will open it up to questions. I hope that was brief enough.
Thank you, Tiffany. We appreciate you being here tonight. Gentlemen, questions?
I have a question, if I may, Mr. Mayor. Tiffany, you're talking about your fuel source. Your fuel source is going to be coal and petroleum coke. You talked about how close you'll be able to use all the byproducts of this product, which is going to be electricity. It's going to be CO2, which you'll use to enhance what is gone now in relation to the gas cap in the Elk Hills Petroleum Reserve, and I understand that. The fertilizer, obviously, we're a farming community, and I I myself would love to see nitrogen used as opposed to the stuff that comes up out of Los Angeles, that horrible stuff that we've been trying to keep out of here. So I think that's a great alternative as well. So where is your fuel coming from? Where's the petroleum coke and the coal coming from?
So the coal will come from New Mexico, so it will be railed in. At this point, it would be railed into Wasco and trucked over. We also are trying to permit a rail spur option to actually rail directly to the site, but it will come in from New Mexico. And the petroleum coke will, first preferential refinery would be in Santa Maria, and then the LA Basin.
So the petroleum coke is a byproduct of the refinery process?
Correct.
Okay, so you're taking basically a waste stream from another process, and you're going to utilize it to power your process, and then come up with 4 beneficial products out of your process.
Correct. And currently, pet coke is, almost all of California's pet coke is shipped to Asia, and they burn it conventionally in burners and boilers.
Which hits the jet stream and comes over in the upper atmosphere to the state of California. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Orchel?
I have a couple of questions, and I like your project. Wish you were here sooner. I think it's a great project, and it's amazing how the people, especially the environmentalists, are against it, because it's one of the most cleanest plant in the world. Produces energy, and the byproduct is clean. You know, I think they'd be wanting this project, especially as a pilot project where we're to look at to emulate in other places. Why California? Man, if I was Rick Perry, I'd be all over you, go to Texas. You know, you look like you the money and the plant and the land and everything to produce it. California, man,
Well,
that's a
right.
scary part of
It's
it.
definitely a challenge, and they are doing similar projects in Texas, so they heard you. But the California draw was, there was a few things. The greenhouse gas emission policy that they have here was one driver. The pet coke was another. I'm not sure if people realize it, but California's oil fields are characterized by the USGS as being ideal for CO2 storage. So there's actually a fair amount of candidates here for storing CO2 for more projects.
So TAP is an oil city, West Side is, the whole West Side, and I hope you utilize our businesses that we have here in construction and food industry and our labor force, that anything we can do to assist you, and we'd like to do business with you, our West Side and our town. So anything we can do to facilitate you, we can sure use help on your end.
Excellent, good.
Mr. Miller?
Well, you look at the permit process, you wonder if you can't get anything done in California. You kind of wonder why we can't build houses in Taft, so there you go.
It's been rough.
Mr. Waldron?
Well, so far, I'm looking at this in the benefit for the west side, like Councilman Orchel said. We need a shot in the arm, and so far, I can't see anything wrong with it at all. I too hope they will utilize the west side where they could. I would appreciate it.
Thank you. Just a couple comments. Again, I appreciate you being here tonight. Obviously, the movement of your fuel and the movement of the byproducts from your process are going to impact our roadways. Probably not so much City of Taft unless you're bringing from Santa Maria, and you may be coming through our area. The rail spur is interesting to me because obviously you can transport a lot more and not do detrimental work to our roads, so to speak. They're already hurting as it is. So I would ask that you certainly look at the rail spur as a mode of, because you can obviously bring your fuel in and take your byproducts back out on the same lines, I would hope, so. And then, as Mr. Cryer and Mr. Waldrop had stated, we don't have a huge workforce in this area, but it's our hope that the workforce for this project is not going to come from Louisiana and where they come in and they suck up all the good jobs and then they leave the area, and all we have is a little bit of a residue from sales tax and things like that. So I would strongly encourage you to have job fairs and hire from here where it's appropriate, obviously, because you'll need those skills. Other than that, we will be watching to see how you get through the rest of your permitting process, because we know exactly what you're going through on that. And again, appreciate you coming here and sharing the information with us tonight.
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. In regard to, you were just talking about the longevity of the project and the impact on the local community. The power plants and cogen plants that have been built on the west side have been operating successfully for many, many years. I happen to know that Mr. Western, right there, I was at the groundbreaking ceremony with him many years ago when we started a cogen plant up on the end of Crocker Springs Road. I worked for Sun Oil Company. My hair was long and blonde at that time. Ed looked exactly like Ed does now. But that was in 1987. And that plant is a model of efficiency. Mr. Western, I can tell you, was there and he ran that place along with the best golf tournament on the west side for all these years. I was going to actually put you on the spot and say, does anybody in your organization know anything about electricity and selling electricity? But I'll tell the world that Mr. Western there knows everything about electricity, probably knows more than Ben Franklin did when he discovered it. So I myself, and I will be a very big supporter of the project. It makes a great deal of sense for many things, utilizing a waste stream product to power your process, and then what comes out of your process will enhance the Elk Hills field. It'll replace the gas cap with not a dangerous gas. I mean, if you re-inject hydrogen sulfide in order to do away with it and also pressurize a reservoir, you continually increase the concentrations of hydrogen sulfide, and it's a very dangerous gas. CO2 is not. So capturing it and utilizing it will enhance the recovery. As far as local projects that will piggyback to your project, the infrastructure necessary to utilize that waste stream of CO2 will be a very large capital project, and it will put many, many people who work here every day on the west side to work to enhance that and be able to deliver that to Elk Hills. And there will be additional oil field related jobs as well. So here again, I think it's a great project. Every project has a lot of concerns. The rail spur is a great idea. Talk to Jerry Brown. I bet he'll put a rail spur in that will get coke from Arizona to here in like 60 minutes. I'm sure. But anyway, I thank you very much, and I just want to let you know I'll go on record right now by saying that I do truly support the process, and you are creating jobs with private sector money. You will get some grant money, I have to believe, but it is a private sector project, and it makes real things, so I will support it. That's all I have. Thank you again.
Great comments. Comments from staff?
Other than if council chooses to support it and they want a resolution, that'll have to be in a future agenda.
Okay. All right. I don't remember, had we done a resolution?
No,
Not yet? Okay.
It was brought up before by
Yeah,
Councilman.
I believe it
Pro Tem
was.
Pryor, but we wanted you guys to have the facts before you.
Absolutely. And I think with this information that we got tonight, and Tiffany, if you could provide anything else that staff would need, then I think this council, sounds like an agenda item would come back that we would probably do a
The
resolution.
resolution's ready to go. We just
It is? Okay.
yeah, we just need
All
council
right.
direction.
We will
to-
stay in touch, and whatever
That's
you need,
perfect.
just let us know.
Very good.
Great.
Thank you so much again for being here.
I tried to get you to the podium, Ed. Just
I don't think you're going to get him to move.
And she looks much better up there.
oh, you're a pretty handsome fella, Ed.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing to adopt a resolution approving a street name change from Emmons Park Drive to Cougar Court. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. On June 13, 2013, the city received a request for street name change application from Dina Maloney, Superintendent, President of West Kern Community College District. The proposal was to change the name from Emmons Park Drive to Cougar Court, as the street leads into Taft College campus on 6th Street. Planning and Community Development Department sent letters dated July 1st, 2013 to 2 affected properties, the Taft branch of Kern County Library, the Peace Evangelical Lutheran Church, notifying them of the proposed name change. Staff also transmitted a copy of the proposed to the city departments, county agencies, public utilities, and the post office. All affected properties and agencies were given until July 22nd, 2013 to respond. Staff has received positive feedback, including letters of support from Kern County Library and Peace Lutheran Church. If the City Council approves the street name change, the West Kern Community College District will incur all costs associated with the street name change, including staff time, design, purchase, and installation of Cougar Court street signs.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, I will open and conduct a public hearing and invite anybody wishing to speak in favor of or against this resolution to please come forward. And as you come forward, if you would please state your name and your address for us, please, for the record.
Good evening, Council. I'm Dina Maloney. I'm Superintendent President at Taft College. My address is 104 Lee Street in Taft, California. I am very happy to be here tonight. I know I have very limited time to speak, but if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to have anybody from Taft College here, if you could stand up. I want you to see kind of the excitement we have about this potential name change.
Right, yeah.
So we have quite a few people here. I'm just going to introduce a couple. Billy White is the president of our governing board, the Board of Trustees.
Stand up, Billy.
From our Board of Trustees as well, and Michael Long is here. And we have a number of staff members, but what I want to also share is that we have our Associated Student Body Board here. And the reason for that is that they really led the charge in terms of this. So I'd like to introduce them. We have Jose Barrera, who is our Associated Student Body President, Leilani Ponce, who's the Vice President, Daisy Coutron, who's the Secretary Treasurer, Joanna Espinoza, who is our Activity Coordinator, and Celia Rangel, who is our Student Trustee, and Maisha Petrona, who is our ASB Advisor. So thank you all for being here. It's just a sign of how excited we are about this. We'll go ahead and sit down. Just a couple of comments. You know, Taft College was formed in 1922, and we acquired the property for the present campus in 1954, and we've grown from our original 7 students in 1922 to over 2,500 full-time equivalent students now. And in 2004, we passed Measure A with the community support, which is the general obligation bond that has helped us transform the campus. And one of the projects that we completed with our Measure A bond money was a redesign of our parking lot and a new entrance to the campus off of the western end of Emmons Park Drive. And with that redesign, and in recognition of the 90-plus years of service to the community, we request that the street name of Emmons Park Drive be changed to reflect the connection to Taft College and to our mascot, the Cougar. This name change proposal came about as a result of a campus-wide name-changing contest that our Associated Student Body ran. We had almost 50 names suggested, and through a process of voting and then recommendations to our Board of Trustees, Cougar Court was the name that we propose that the city consider for the name change. So we really appreciate your consideration of our request, and we look forward to hearing your decision on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina.
And I'll answer any questions you might have.
Gentlemen, questions?
I have none, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of or in opposition to this resolution? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. And at this time, I believe I need to entertain a motion to adopt a resolution entitled "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft Approving a Street Name Change from Emmons Park Drive to Cougar Court."
Motion.
Second.
I'd like to make,
We can comment in a minute. We have a motion and a second.
Who's the second? Heard two.
I heard two.
I didn't get out that.
I think Mr. Waldrop got that one. So, gentlemen, discussion. And I'm going to go to Mr. Knorr first. He made the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually waited for a second because I thought everybody's going to jump up at the same time. Everybody wants to make that motion. Congratulations to everybody who's worked on and planned the makeover of the campus at Taft Community College. It is a beautiful facility, and I'm glad to see all the young people who are taking pride in that and being a part of government. By being here, you are indeed exercising your right to participate in your government, and I hope you do that for the rest of your life, because it's very important. Beyond that, I think it's very fitting, and I would be in support of it. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Waldron.
I'm very proud of the attendance today. It shows that you care, and we also care about our community, and I'm just proud, and I think it's a very good idea. Thank you.
Mr. Cryer.
Thank you. Taft College has come a long ways from 1922 to the present with the Till building, being innovative with the oil summit coming up, and all the different programs the school has to offer. And I'm in favor of changing it to Cougar Court. The only thing I would like to say is that is it possible to carry on the name of Emmons Road or Emmons Park, that we can maybe find maybe like a with the we could change it. I mean, if they change one of the road change with staff or something, that find another road we can change to keep on the history of Taft. I'd hate to see that part go away on our history here, because Taft has such a rich history in the oil and the people who made it famous and to what it is today. I'd hate to see that name go away. But Cougar Court has my vote on that. I think this fantastic college is doing fantastic things, and we just can't go but greater opportunities ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cryer. Mr. Miller.
Emmons, where'd that come from? And apparently,
I was going to give you history.
Mayor's going to read it, so I won't take his thunder away. But can you imagine the corner of Wildcat Way and Cougar Court? That's pretty cool.
That is
too bad you can't live there, but we can say that that's a pinpoint place in Taft that right the center of our education facilities, and I think it's appropriate. I know that Emmons Park Drive has had some history in the past, but with what Taft College is doing and being the jewel of this community, I'm for a change. So.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Actually, I've had conversation with several people regarding the name change, and I just wanted to give you a quick history because I didn't know, and I'm going to guess a lot of people out there didn't know either, but E.C. Emmons, Elias Curley Emmons, was elected to the Taft City Council and served for 4 years, and as mayor for 2 terms. From 34 to 38. He was a businessman and a vice president of the Petroleum Supply Company. His company was located at 309 Supply Row in Taft, and he also, in the same structure that he also lived in. Let's see. He passed away in August of '57. And I know, Dina, we've talked and we've been sensitive regarding Emmons Park Drive because it was named for a former mayor, politician in the city of Taft. But I think it's appropriate that we look at the renaming only because Wildcat Way was renamed Cougar Court. The college has partnered with us on fixing the road, which was formerly, well, I shouldn't say that, which is Emmons Park Drive at the moment. And it just makes perfect sense. Plus, we removed half of it because it became parking lots. So we will find other ways to honor Mr. Emmons, whether it's, and I do want to make sure that we collect the street signs, so those can be placed either in the college history museum or whatever, or the city can have it as a reminder that Mr. Emmons did serve his community and should be remembered. So having said that, I think I will ask for a roll call, please.
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Cryer?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldron?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, and that motion passes on a 5-0 vote. Congratulations to Cougar Court. I don't normally do it, but if you guys would like to slip out, it's more than fine. It seems a little warm in here tonight, so
We've had so much body heat in here, we're not
thank you
used
for
to it.
being here. We appreciate it. Oh, there's some air movement.
It was off?
I didn't hear it.
I don't know why it's off.
Oh, yeah, I can more feel it. Thank you, Louise. Maybe it timed out, huh?
Well, you gotta push that button every 30 minutes.
Oh.
But every 30 minutes, it should come on by itself and stay on. Something's messed up. I'll have to fix it. Not tonight, though.
Not tonight, yeah. We've got to go on.
Never had it going, and then I did it.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the Economic Development Strategic Plan. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The Greater Taft Economic Development Authority entered into a contract in January 2013 with the Office of Community and Economic Development at Fresno State to facilitate a community-based economic development strategy for the city of Taft. The building of this plan took over 6 months by appointed ad hoc committee consisting of citizens and community leaders from a broad spectrum of institutions. The results of the process is coming before you this evening, presented by the Greater Taft Economic Development Authority Board of Directors for your consideration and approval.
Thank you. Do we need, this is just information. So I would like to get this started with the guy we spent the last 6 months with. Mike, if you could introduce yourself, please.
I would be more than happy to introduce myself. I'm Mike Dozier. I'm the Executive Director with the Office of Community and Economic Development, and I'm also the lead executive for the California Partnership for the San Joaquin Valley. It's sometimes difficult to distinguish between the two offices. Our office is a secretariat for the partnership, and frankly, one of the reasons that we want to do strategies like this the way that we did it is because it's something that the partnership, we want to have that continued partnership, and community-based is, in my opinion, the way to go about it. Over the last 6-7 months, since January, we've been coming down here twice a month. I've gotten to know Highway 41 very well, and they got about $500 of my money going on the way back one time. I learned from that. I learned a great deal. There's certain places you speed and certain places you don't. Highway 41 in Livermore is one that you don't. So just in case you want to know, that's a place not to. But when it goes 2 lanes, go slower. And I got to know I-5 very much more than I ever did because I very seldom drove south of I-5. Generally, if I came down to L.A. or to Bakersfield, Kern, it was always 99. So this was, it was a nice change of pace. The best change of pace, though, was coming to the community. And for 12 meetings, coming here to Taft and seeing the advisory committee and the people of this community and some of the assets that you have in Taft, it was a unexpected pleasure. I don't know why I say unexpected, because I never know what I'm going to see when I go into a community. The great part about doing something like this is that you get to know a community better than many of the people in the community get to know it. I learned this process as the as the Community and Economic Development Director with the City of Clovis. I created this process, and when I got done with that, it was amazing how easier my job was as the Economic Development Director, because I knew the community a lot better, and the community knew me a lot better. And so I've been advocating this type of a process throughout the Central Valley. So let's get to the process. This is a community-based, and the reason that it's community-based is because an economic development strategy is a collaborative process. And what I've learned through this process is that in the past in Taft, and very much like the rest of the valley itself, collaboration was not always there. We hear, silos is something that you hear up and down the valley, and there's reasons for it, And when the silos are knocked down and the entities within the community start working together, that's when things happen. And I can tell you that you have that here right now. I think that you had the start of it before I ever came here, but going through this process, it was pretty easy to see that you have a great collaboration between the city staff, the Chamber of Commerce, Taft College, the Kern County EDC. Those things, those are your working tools for this whole process. And then the regular, the advisory committee members themselves. And I will tell you that when, in the coming days, months, years, as processes and projects come to you for development, you're going to find that you're going to have less resistance to those projects. I'm not sure what it was before, but I think you'll have less resistance because there was a transparency in what you're looking for, and there's less mystery as to what the development process is. And so I think that you will see that this advisory committee, while they were ad hoc, I think that you will see that they will come to your defense when that time is needed, or at least I would hope that they do. Understanding the process they did. So for the first 6 months, first 10 meetings, it was educational, and I think it's really important to identify those that came and provided presentation, because this is an educational process. And if you look, in January 22nd, we had our first meeting. It was welcome and introduction. After that, we had the city staff come and talk about how the city operates and why. Interestingly enough, a lot of people just don't understand how city operates. They don't understand why cities do things. And so when you take that mystery out of it, and you start to put some common sense to it, it becomes something that is more acceptable and understandable. We had a business attraction, retention, and expansion with Melinda Brown from EDC, who is also an advisory committee member. David Lyman, who's one of the more animated figures in Kern County, who works for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, does a great job with retention and expansion programs. And then we had Gil O'Neill from the Central Valley Business Incubator come up and talk about the incubator. And at that point, the incubator gave the Chamber of Commerce 100 accesses to their online incubation program, which provides tools for your small businesses. So any small businesses that's looking to get started, one of the biggest problems they have is not knowing all the things that it takes to start a business. You just think that you go and you open up a store, they don't know everything that there is to know. And the incubator process provides some of the background for that, and they gave that to them for free, and that's part of this process as well. We had financing economic development. I was told emphatically that this was one of the more boring sessions. But it was necessary. Actually, Kelly Bearden from the SBDC was great, and the two ladies with the financing, it just became a little bit more in-depth than many were looking for, but it very much needed. Understanding development fees and available land, again, Mike Waichus, the city planner at the time, came and gave a presentation on that along with Deborah Elliott with the city. Then we had workforce development, and Daniel Smith, the director of the Kern WIB, came and talked. Dr. Dina Maloney, Taft College, came and talked about what Taft is doing. And then we had a great presentation by Shelley Corner from Taft Union High School. And this was enlightening to me because I had not realized how advanced or progressive Taft High School was, and it was nice to know, because there's a couple of things that will identify economic development, and workforce is certainly one of them. Having the college here and having the high school district being as well thought of as it is extremely important for what you want to do economic development wise. It's also important as you go forward trying to bring more housing here, because people who want to go live someplace that have kids, obviously they're going to look at what the educational opportunities are, and if they look at the record of Taft High School and of Taft College, I think they're going to be impressed. And then we had one of the more, stimulating meetings, which was bringing in commercial brokers from Kern County. Melinda Brown brought over Steve Hopp from Colliers International, Chad Brock from NAI Central California, and Anthony Oliveira from Oliveira Commercial Group. And this was interesting because not a lot of people understand what businesses look for when they're locating to a location, or they're looking for a location. And so this was a meeting that there was a lot of ahas. And then and I think that those ahas translated into the strategy itself. Well, I know it did. Then we had the target industry study. I gave a presentation on the regional industry cluster initiative that we're starting. There's 7 clusters in the valley, and in your plan, you've identified the clusters that you feel that you can address, and they are and Kathy will talk about those, I think, in just a little bit. We had a tourism. Many people don't understand that tourism is an economic development component. It's commercial, it's industrial, and it's tourism. And we had a great presentation from Teresa Hitchcock. We also, Kathy Oren had a great presentation, and then we had Sean Miller from the city of Clovis come up and talk about what Clovis has done over the years. And you ask, well, why Clovis? Well, when I got to Clovis many years ago, there were no hotels, and there wasn't a lot of tourism strategy. And we decided to go after hotels. Sean did a great job, hired Sean. Sean did a great job of activities and corralling all of the independent people that were doing things and not coordinating, and being able to coordinate those efforts, and it translated to more dollars for the city. And it also translated to 8 hotels for the city over a 10-year period. And that's ongoing transit occupancy tax money that's going into the general fund. So that's really important from the standpoint of economic development. And from there, the group got together, did a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis, and from there decided what their goals and objectives were. So I'm going to stop there, but I want to do a couple of things. One, I would like everybody from the advisory committee to stand, if you would. And you have 2 on your council as well. They had outstanding attendance. This was not. And there's a couple of people that I want to call out special thank yous. One is Kathy Oren. Kathy was the facilitator of everything. I mean, she made sure that we had a site to go to. She made sure that we had victuals to eat, and just coordinated everything beautifully. So she was fantastic. I would also like to thank Taft College and Dina Maloney. Dina, I'd say, I don't know, over half of our meetings were held at Taft College. Great facility. It's easy to see why it's held in high esteem, not just here in Taft, but throughout the Central Valley and state. Then we had the West Kern Oil Museum. We had 2 meetings there, and it was great to look around there. I didn't realize the Dobro came from here. I'm a big Dobro fan. Love that music, and so I learned a whole lot there just looking around. And so I thank them. Kern Water District, we had a meeting there, a great facility. That's where I learned by going to the bathroom whether or not I'm hydrated or not. I had not known that before, and I follow that religiously now. So I thank the Water District. Thank you. And then Manny at the Monarch Fleet Service and Automotive, the cleanest place, the cleanest repair place I've ever seen. We could actually eat off the floor over there. Beautiful place, and we had one of our last meetings at his store. I don't think I... And one of your real jewels is the West Side Recreational Parks District. I mean, that is something else. You've got good schools, you've got, all you need to do is get some more housing in here, because people will want to go to that district. And I mean, there's other stuff here too that will draw people. The softball fields, I still play softball. I'm too old to walk, but I'm still playing softball.
Well, maybe we can get you to move down here now.
Well, that may be. You never know. I never say no. So I want to, those were great. And then we also had, and I'll let Kathy talk about who provided vittles, but it was, I know that, who provided the most times?
Probably Albertsons.
Yeah, Albertsons. Right, Ron from Albertsons. Again, this is a slow process. This was intentionally slow. It's slow so that, and this document is not going to be one that you're going to just put on the shelf. It has implementation steps, it has champions, and it has completion dates. And the last thing I want to tell you is that we are not going anywhere. If you run into any kind of difficulty at any time, or if there's questions or anything else, you know to be able to email us, call us. It's not like your typical consultant where they give you a plan and say, good luck. We want to see you succeed. I kind of feel personally invested in that. And one other thing. Ishmael Herrera, I would be remiss if I did not point him out. Ish and I were companions down Highway 5 for those many meetings, and he had the audacity to get married in the middle of this thing and end up going to the cookout. But he's a great guy and did a great job on this. With that, I'll take any questions that you have before I turn it over to Kathy Warren. Any questions?
Gentlemen?
Not very complete.
Thank you.
For your
Thank you,
comments.
Mike. Thanks for your time and your expertise.
My pleasure.
Please state your name and address, please.
Did you guys miss me? I've been gone.
Yes.
Good, that was the right answer. It was very nice of you to say that. My name is Kathy Oren, and I live in the city of Taft, 513 Hilltop Court. And it's a pleasure to come to you and share the fruits of our labor. I need to ask you, we have hard copies. If you would prefer having one of those, we can arrange for you to have that.
That's great.
Mr. Miller. Would you get one for Randy? Anybody in the audience that wants this? Oh. There's some back here.
Complicated work, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, when one wants one, then everybody wants one.
Yeah. How about two more or three more, Eric? Please.
I want to thank Mike and Ish for taking this on with us, and they were awesome. We really appreciate that. I want to thank Marcia Martin, who works with these guys, because she is the person that compiled the text into this beautiful document that you will see, and she worked with me. She was just wonderful to work with. I've never met her face to face, but I want you to take back my thanks because she made us look really good. Also, I want to thank Karina Rawls and Dale Countryman from ROP because we're making changes. You know, any document, as many times as you read it, that's how many times you want to change things. So we finally decided, okay, this is the drop dead date, and of course then we had to bind them. And if it weren't for the ROP folks, you wouldn't have that in your hands, so I want to thank them especially. One of the things we had to deal with out the gate when we decided we wanted to do this was the fact that we have done this before. I have only been back in Taft since '93, and I can remember being involved in 2 weekend events where we sat around and decided what we wanted our town to look like. And at the end of that, I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was ever a document. I served on the committee, but I don't know whatever happened to that. And when I went out to different folks in our community and said, we are going to do a strategic plan, they said, oh my gosh, Kathy, how many times are we going to do a strategic plan? Just take the old one and change the date. But we pushed forward, and to the credit of many of the people that were a little irritated, they were willing to serve yet again on the ad hoc committee. And I think that our charge this time is to make this not stay in someone's desk drawer or on a shelf. And we have met together, when I say we, I mean the City of Taft, the Chamber, and Taft College, because you'll see that those are the major champions of this document and this plan. And we have scheduled ourselves for meetings that will hold one another accountable for what needs to be done. So I'm just going to walk you through this document very quickly, because I know that chances are excellent that you're not going to go home tonight and read this. So I want you to have a good kind of overview knowledge. I also know the chances are good that none of you will ever read this word for word. It's not designed for that anyway, but I want you to be aware of what's in here. So if you start on page 4, the mission statement. The mission statement was to develop and implement policies, programs, and activities that will stimulate business startup, facilitate the expansion of existing businesses, and encourage the location of new businesses in order to create new jobs, expand the City of Taft's economic base, and enhance the quality of life for the citizens of Taft. That's very broad, but that's really what we were about. And as Mike mentioned, before you do any planning, you have to have a little bit of knowledge. And that was what was so attractive to me in this process was, I don't know a lot about economic development, and I certainly don't know, I came to know that I don't know, what kinds of economics we have at our disposal and what kind of economics will work for us in our region. So, out of that strategy, or that mission statement, we moved to strategies, basically providing customer service training at the City of Taft, provided by Taft College, addressing skill gaps and workforce needs, spearheaded by Taft College, working with with Kern County Workforce Investment Board, the development of a business retention and expansion program led by the city and the chamber, looking at annexation opportunities led by the city, the chamber, and working with county staff, and marketing Taft, which were kind of at the feet of the Kern County Board of Trade, Kern EDC, the city, and the chamber. So basically, that's kind of a big overview of the major strategies that kind of introduce you to the smaller bits of strategies that we have in this document. One thing that I think you will find very important to get to know is the assessment, the community assessment, which begins on page 10. I felt this was very informative. We know that a lot of the problem that we have with attracting businesses, especially brand name businesses, is that our census is very low. And even if you add in parts of our city known as CDPs, which are census designated places, that would be Ford City, Taft Heights, and South Taft. Now, when people look at the population of Taft, they see the city limit population. We always want to encourage them to look at our city population with the additional CDPs, but we know oftentimes that doesn't happen. But this gave us information about the city and those CDPs, those outlying areas, and what is going on with them economically, educationally, and income-wise. We know that there has been a huge change in the demographic of our town with the rise of Hispanic citizens, and the average We have an average increase of 17.8% in our city in our 3 CDPs. We know that our unemployment for the city of Taft is at 11.3%, which is slightly lower than Kern County and slightly higher than California. And we know that most of the occupations that we have in our combined area has to do with natural resources, construction, and maintenance, basically anything that supports oil. And we also know that the mean commute time to get to work for our citizens is 26.9 minutes, and that is the bugaboo that we deal with. I'm not going to take time to go through the education. We have a lower graduation rate than the state of California as a whole, but we are commensurate with Kern County. Income rates, you can see through those things. I'm not going to take time to go through that, but I do want to draw your attention to page 17, which is the SWOT analysis that Mike talked about. And this is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I don't think there's anything on here that is news to any of you. We know that we have excellent educational opportunities. We know that we are a safe community. We have tourist amenities. For instance, we have the oil fields, which we were introduced to as a tourist amenity. The man that spoke to us said, you know, people would love to tour the oil fields. And we all went, really? Because we see oil fields all the time. And that's an idea. That's something that we have not explored. We have an excellent water district. We have excellent recreation facilities. We have excellent weather. We don't have tornadoes, hurricanes. We haven't flooded. We haven't been below 100 degrees in 2 days, but it depends
it's a
upon
dry
what.
heat.
It's a there you go. We do enjoy a wonderful city-county collaboration, and we are a great location for energy industry growth. That's with oil, solar, gas, and we have a history of that. We are positioned well for future growth. So there are a lot of strengths. We have a lot of things that we wish were different. I think probably and we spoke about this, our biggest issue is our image. And it was interesting talking to the folks that came from Bakersfield to help us out. They talk about Bakersfield having an image problem. That was a huge insight to me because I thought those folks in Bakersfield had no image problem. So this was good. I guess everybody suffers from an image problem when put up against somebody else. I don't know. But big on our list is the lack of housing options, the fact that we are somewhat isolated. There is not rail traffic coming right to us. If we start, I mean, why would you locate your business here if you cannot move your goods and services out in an easy way? So there are some challenges there. Opportunities are listed there and the threats are listed there. And those, I don't think anybody would find anything that they're surprised to see. So after our SWOT analysis, oh dear, I lost my place here. We have gone through some of the things that we hope to do. If you look on page 19, you will see the target industry analysis. The target industries are listed there. The ones that we concentrated on were energy, health and wellness, manufacturing, and public sector infrastructure, which for us is mostly construction. If you go to page 25, you will see the industrial development strategies. And those include focusing on economic development efforts for attraction, retention, and expansion of startup in the following industry clusters. So of those clusters identified, we are concentrating on energy, value-added agriculture, manufacturing, and healthcare. We Second strategy is to maintain membership and close partnership with the current EDC for marketing and attraction efforts. And the next strategy is to create an inventory of available property for industrial development. And you'll see that creating an inventory of property for different needs, different resources is throughout this. The next one is creating an inventory of vacant industrial buildings. And then the last one in this section is establishing open communication between city staff, community representatives, and oil industry adjacent to Taft on a monthly basis. We have discussed how that's going to happen. That's going to be a very interesting one. I think the first question out of any oil person's mouth as they sat down with us would be, so what's in it for me? and that's something that we have to tackle head on. The commercial development strategies that start on page 27 are, again, creating an inventory of available property for retail development. The second one is creating an inventory of vacant buildings. The third one, creating a community profile sheet with pertinent demographic data. Number 4, identifying funding sources for a downtown improvement program. And number 6, exploring the creation of a business improvement district. These are all commercial development strategies. And again, we have to have the ability to say, come to us. We know where the opportunities are. We know what we need in terms of our community, and we have programs that can help you. We have to be prepared for folks to want to invest in our community. And that's what these strategies are all about. The last part, the tourism one, that of course has to do with understanding tourism and the different kinds of tourism, and I'm now on page 31. And then on page 32, creating an inventory of available property for hotel development. Again, that making sure we know where all the opportunities are and what the resources are that's available. Marketing locations and friendly community for the film industry. I've learned a lot from working with the film industry. The bloom is off the rose, by the way. I've learned a lot the hard way working with the film industry. But we can do more to attract filmmakers here, and I think it can be a benefit to us. Number 4 is working with the school district, Taft College, and the oil industry to market Taft's amenities to visitors, and then promoting Taft through billboards and directional signs on Interstate 5, State Route 119, and State Route 33. So these basically are the strategies. Having these strategies isn't enough. You have to put wheels to them, and that's what the city staff, working with the chamber, working with Taft College, intends to do. And we will be meeting regularly to make sure that we have these tasks before us and that we are making progress. That's the only way you can hold one another accountable. At this time, I want to introduce to you the GTEDA board. But before I do that, what questions do you have about anything in this document?
I don't have any questions. I just read it. I think it's great.
Comments later.
I'll finish it later.
I will not tell you that you're going to be tested. This is big. This is very comprehensive, and there's a lot in here, but I think we're equal to the challenge, and I know that sounds very Pollyanna to you because it's like, oh my gosh, how are we ever going to get through this? But there are opportunities in all of these tasks, and I think we are at a time in our community's life when we're all on the same page, and that's kind of rare. And we need to take advantage of it. I think we will.
I have one comment. You know, you've put the big picture together, and we got the big vision, but we need that first domino to fall, and we've all been waiting for our motel. And once that motel comes in, and we have our groundbreaking, and we can get that darn thing built, that is going to create a lot of other things. So, it's having the grand plan, but, in the past, we didn't back when, we didn't own the railroad property. And we finally got that. And, and we were putting our general plan together, so a lot of those meetings that everybody went to and those strategies and stuff was for our, looking out 50-year plan. This is something for now. And we can get that first domino to fall. We've got the Family Dollar up here. That's a big deal. And we're moving forward. We built a building. So once you can start building buildings, and that's what we're waiting for. So
I think it's important to remember that we are enjoying the fruits of somebody's labor years ago, and that this happens a little bit at a time. Where we are now is the results of where we have been and what we have done. So, eyes on me. I want to thank those people that have worked hard for this. I don't want to discount the work that's been done before, because it's very important. We are here because of the work done before. I think part of our job is to make sure people see the progress and that we make it obvious to people that this is progress in this plan. A lot of time progress was probably made. We didn't know it was connected to any plan at all. And it's our job to market ourselves in such a way that people know, oh, yeah, okay, that plan, okay, I get it. So, thank you, Randy. I want to introduce our Greater Taft Economic Development Board. They have been serving as a board since November of last year. They are chaired by Michael Long. The appointees to the board from the county have been Bob Lycum, who is serving as vice chair, and Orchel Cryer. Orchel Cryer is serving from the city. He was appointed by then Mayor Randy Miller. Ken Anderson was also appointed a member from the city. Ron Oren was appointed from the county. And then I serve as secretary, and Teresa Binkley serves as treasurer. So I'm going to turn the podium over to Michael Long, who's going to talk to you about the board and how they see their part in all of this.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for allowing me to come up today. I promise it's going to go real quick. I know that we've spent a lot of time on this subject. I'm excited. I've been involved with the Chamber for 7 years, and I think that this, besides the car show, is probably the most important thing I've ever been involved with the Chamber, and I'm just glad to be part of it. What I wanted to do is just acknowledge the people who were on the committee so our viewers at home know who was part of this, because I think they need to know that it wasn't just the people you see here today. But I just wanted to briefly mention who they are. Ken Anderson from Taft High School Board, Melinda Brown from the Kern Economic Development Corporation, Manny Campos from Monarch Fleet Services, Alan Christensen, Chief of Staff for Kern County, 4th District Kern County Board of Supervisors, Eric Cooper, Cooper's True Value, Marie Cavello, Program Specialist with Kern County's Career Services Center, Christy Durkin, owner of Bangs and Tangles Salon. Well,
on Friday night.
Salon and Spa. Deborah Elliott, Enterprise Zone Manager for the City of Taft. Mitchell Emberson, Associated Student Body President, Taft High School. Bob Hampton, owner of Westside Waste Management. Ray Hatch, former mayor of Taft. Jim Hendricks, Customer Service Relations Manager for PG&E. Bart Hill, Vice President, Area Manager, Kern County United Security Bank. Craig Jones, City of Taft, City Manager. Don Koenig, Director of the Westside Recreation and Park District. Paul Linder, the Mayor of Taft. Myself. Verlin Love, Realtor with Caldwell Banker. Dina Maloney, Dr. Dina Maloney from Taft College, who's the Superintendent President. Ben Magnum, owner of Ben's Books, Taft City Treasurer. Kathy Oren, Dr. Kathy Oren, who's the Executive Director of the Taft District Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau. Ryan Schultz, Field Rep for Kern County Board of Supervisors, 4th District, and David Couch. Ron Sousa, Store Director, Albertsons Food and Drug. Harry Starkey from the West Kern Water District, Mike Wages, Planner, City of Taft, and Bill Wickwire, Director, necessary economic emergency distribution services center, the NEED Center, as most of you know it. So I just wanted to, before I start, I just have a few prepared remarks. I wanted to thank Craig Jones, who, when I approached him, after learning from the college that the folks from Fresno State and the Rural Economic Development Group wanted to involve the city and the county and other interested groups in starting the economic development idea. And Craig Jones immediately saw the potential for the city's involvement and what the fruits of this would be. And I wanted to thank Craig Jones and Dr. Maloney, because Dr. Maloney has a background in economic development. She's new to the city, and but besides that, she's a great college president. So I just wanted, and then Kathy Orrin, of course, because without her, we would have never gotten this far. So again, thank you, Mayor Linder. The Greater Taft Area Economic Development Authority was jointly created by the Kern County Board of Supervisors and the City of Taft to stimulate economic growth and prosperity on the west side back in 1998. Apparently, after it was formed, it sort of went defunct for a while, and last year, those of us that were interested in reviving the organization did so, and you heard who they are today. The EDA, as I like to call it, sort of roped together the city, the Taft College, Supervisor Ray Watson. I want to mention him as well because he funded the initial part of this study, and then, of course, David Couch and the city and the college all stepped forward to help, and the chamber threw in a little bit to fund this enterprise, and I want to thank them for that. Economic development is an important part of strengthening the community by creating and retaining jobs, attracting new business, and encouraging development in order to enlarge our sales tax base, provide local residents with an improved quality of life, and ensure a well-funded local government. The EDA study has truly been a cooperative project of the City of Taft, the Kern County Board of Supervisors, Taft College, the Taft Chamber of Commerce, and the local business community. I wish to thank Fresno State and Mike Dozier and his staff for their assistance in completing this project. Together, our community examined realistic opportunities for growth and development best suited for Taft and created a roadmap by which to pursue our goals of economic renewal on the west side. Tonight, you've been presented with our report, which establishes a roadmap for the economic development of the City of Taft and the west side. Our hope tonight is that you will embrace this report and work with us to realize Taft's full potential. The 5-member board of the Economic Development Authority is ready to champion this roadmap and work with the groups and organizations in the community who have been part of the task force who have agreed to champion different segments of the plan. All of us are stakeholders in the future of Taft, all of us. Together, we must work to encourage more new housing construction, encourage commercial real estate representatives to examine Taft as a viable location and direct manufacturers and employers our way. Work with existing local industry to assist with workforce development and education, and encourage investment in our community in order to attract new retail, medical, and commercial opportunities that also create new jobs. The EDA needs the financial support of the Taft City Council to pursue the goals of our study, and I hope that in the future you will consider our requests as we come forward before you. In closing, I ask that you consider our report, adopt it as your own roadmap to economic development, and collaborate with us as we pursue economic development, growth, and prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
No questions, I just wanted to quickly comment that I had the opportunity to sit on this board and with a lot of very dynamic people that were brought together, and it was interesting to me to see how so many diverse backgrounds could come together yet come up with pretty much the common good. We all realize that our education system is strong in Taft, and we're certainly an oil town. We always will be, but just the fact that they dedicated that time, and it was over a 6-month period, to trying to make Taft more viable, better place to live. I applaud you, and I appreciate the fact that I was part of that group. And I see no reason why this report to me is an easy map to follow. I think, and a lot of this has started. The motel is coming to Taft. Housing is on the edge of starting in Taft. I just want to comment about the industrial park that's just up here by the airport. And I was out there this morning, and I was watching you cut weeds. But anyway.
Gotta have a jog.
But anyway, it is filling up, and we have things out there. We have oil companies out there. We certainly have an oil field service crane company out there. We have a biofuels company that's, boy, it's all closed up. You can't see what's going on. But I also noticed the big rental yard now, and it's even diversifying itself out there and becoming something that I'm not so sure we saw coming 10 years ago. So we are on the upsweep, and as Mr. Miller said, once that first real domino falls, and I'm hoping in September that will fall, then I think we're going to see a lot of other things starting to back it up and happen. And I think it's very exciting for this town to be where we're at right now. So thank you.
I just wanted to point out, Randy said the first domino. I think the timing is everything in this kind of endeavor. And I did sit in on the 2005 planning meetings at the fort way back when. And what I said to Mr. Dozier when he came to work for us is I didn't want to see us get a bound copy that sits on a bookshelf, that we really had a plan. And he was, don't worry, this is going to be something you can do. It's realistic. It's not some pie-in-the-sky plan. And as Randy said, the first domino to fall, I think, is going to be the hotel. The timing's right for this. Everybody's talking to everybody. The college, the water district, everybody was in the same room.
And the economy-
And they weren't saying, why are we here?
And the economy's in much better shape than 5 to 8 years ago, too.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Gentlemen, any other comments or questions?
Just one brief, and I'm glad you pointed out, because quietly, the West Side Industrial Park has grown from nothing but tumbleweeds 3 years ago, and now houses 6 businesses. And there's additional interest in another yard that's going up, as well as the vacant property, which could very well be built out very, very soon. So what was nothing but tumbleweeds 3 years ago is a very vibrant and very busy industrial facility. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Yes, Mr. Cryer.
I just wanted to say that things are happening in Taft, and we had a great bunch of people in the meetings. We had over 25 people, different businesses, different backgrounds, all with great ideas. We want to go forward. Like this, it's a roadmap. There will be a few bumps in the road. We all expect that. But things are happening. Ray Watson, NSC, gave us $10,000 from the county to start us going. David Couch and his staff been on board. They want to work with us. We'll make things happen, because what happens in Taft affects the county. And we want everything to, everything's coming together. It's like almost like a perfect storm. Things are just coming there, making it happen. And we're all excited. And I think we could have a few more meetings in the future, discuss it, and things are going to go. It's not even sitting in a bookshelf, get dust or anything. It's going to get forward and be well used. And with the HECA project coming on board, hopefully their permitting all done. That's another things happening. So things are going on very well, and I'm looking forward to our future. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
And I want to thank Kathy Oren. You made a beautiful presentation here tonight, Kathy, and you made it believable. And you're somebody from the community that cares about the community, and it was a nice, friendly voice representing this group, and you did a great job. Right now, the Fox Theater is having a fundraising and asking the community to support it. And it's going to be kind of a tell on how we're going to go forward in this community and business development and do all the things we want to do. And I think this, how the fundraising efforts to save the Fox Theater are a key component of this community, a key component of our downtown. So hopefully the community will get behind it. And it's just like one person, one vote. Your voice counts, and we need people to step up and participate. And I personally want to thank all those community members listed for their participation. It's not fun going to those meetings, and they went apparently to 12 of them over a period of time, and I certainly appreciate you representing me and this community at those meetings. So thanks again for your participation. I appreciate it so much. I know the council appreciates it too.
Thank you, Mr. Miller, and that's a very good point. I think one of the other things that we can't forget is that as we move forward with new, we can't forget what our roots are built on, and that means bringing along some of the existing, the dedicated downtown stuff like the Fox Theater and the businesses downtown that have stuck it out over these years too, so they won't be forgotten. All right, well, thank you again for the presentation, we appreciate it. We'll move on to item number 4.
No.
This is an action item.
It is an action item? Did I miss something here? Oh,
Item number 2.
Under recommendation.
oh, there it is, I'm sorry, yes, okay. Having heard everything we heard tonight, I would entertain a motion to approve an economic development strategy for the city of Taft and approve the plan as submitted and incorporate its finding into future plans for the city of Taft.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Knorr, any further discussion?
No, I just want to tell you, I take great pride in making more motions than anybody else. It's not because I'm impatient. I'm just very excited, and I know these guys are excited too, but they think about it, I'm spontaneous and I react, so it's not like I'm a motion hog or anything.
You are a motion
Proud to be a part of it, Mr. Mayor.
You've just figured out that we have to have a motion in order to have discussion.
That's exactly
We know
right.
you like discussion. Mr. Miller, any further
I have
comments?
no further thing.
Mr. Waldrop?
I just, too, would like to thank everybody in this committee that are here and aren't here. I know you spend a lot of time and money, because I am a volunteer, and volunteers spend money. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Cryer?
I just want to thank all the ad hoc committee members that participated. They did do an outstanding job and put a lot of effort into it, and they want to make this town succeed. Not only Taft, the county, the west side, the whole area, the greater economic development area. It's all part of it. They put a lot of time in here, and it's going to go forward, and we're going to succeed. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to item number 4, which is citizens'
We have one more.
I'm just so excited about getting forward. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Knorr.
Yes.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop.
Yes.
Councilmember Cryer.
Yes.
Mayor Miller. Mayor Linder.
We're even.
You never
Yes.
forget, Louise, you never
Yes.
forget.
She's never gotten over you, Mr. Miller. I'd like to skip item number 4. I've tried to get there 3 times now. Thank you for being here tonight, too. Item number 4 is citizen request for public comments. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting, and we ask that you please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And it looks like we have one person, Mr. Harley Elam, and he is speaking in regards to Hillard Street, Sequa. Sequa.
A lot of this stems from this article here, Harley Elam, 503 Philippine, Taft Heights. I heard a lot of things about lack of housing and stuff like this, and I am strictly opposed all of that land over there on the west side of Hillard Street being developed. We have got to have some kind of natural, sustainable, little recreational area. I walked through that area when I was a kid. It's just not all tumbleweeds. There's sage. And I noticed that the city has been doing work along Hilliard Street, and if we're going to try to protect the environment, especially the wildlife, and I consider life anything that's capable of reproducing, and we just can't keep on eliminating all of this stuff, but the city went through a whole bunch of doveweed that just for some reason thrives there. Dove love it. I've seen them come across there. I've seen the cattle call come across Hilliard Street just to get to the lawns to get any kind of water. And I kind of like the new part of the parkway being there. If it provides water from them, it'll keep them from crossing Hilliard Street. But anyway, my list, I can go on and on and on and on. But I've been in contact with a conservative group. Instead of eliminate what natural stuff that we still got, save it, and try to start doing infill in this city limits. It's already destroyed, develop it, quit destroying whatever's natural. And my feelings are, as I drove to Cuyama here this last spring, there was an area that doveweed just thrived. There'd be this nice purple haze going across there. And I went through there this last May, and it's all gone. It's all carrots. Now, in order to really develop something, and especially something that hasn't been really touched, it's kind of like I really believe we ought to vacuum the whole top of that and go somewhere else and spread it, instead of eliminating generations and generations of seeds. And I can go on and on and on, but another thing that I want to bring up, I'll cut it short, is I had these two salesmen come by, one from Vista and one from Bruce Luce, selling gas from PG&E. And both of them made a comment that has just stuck in my head ever since. How come there are so many houses empty in this town? I can go up and down Philippine, I know at least 4 houses are empty. If we're having a housing problem, it's like having a new hotel. What, are the other hotels always filled? I just, you know, and I'm going to end with this, with something that Guilford Perot, Institute of Conservation, he started, it was the first guy with National Forest, but seeking the greatest good for the greatest number in the long run. And that little lot up there and that summary doesn't apply to just 3. If Westside Development up there is involved with that, there's only going to be 3 people that are going to profit from this, or any good that's going to come. And I'll end it with that, and sometime I'd like to get on the agenda with some other people and better written material to see if we can't do something to balance this out and save what's left of the natural. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Elam. Next item, item number 5 is treasurer report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Everything is tough to follow. This is the treasurer's report as of the financial statement of May the 31st of this year. Our total operating cash and investments are $830,000, $8,300,000, which is down by $200,000. Our general fund is up by $48,000 to $913,000, and all the numerous funds from sewer to wastewater, et cetera, make up to $150,000 down, negative figures. Do you have any questions? Not much else you can say.
Yeah. Bring us good news next month.
I'm sorry?
Bring us good news next month.
Next month, things will be better.
I'm almost sure they will be. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to council statements, non-action. Mr. Cryer.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of weeks ago, I read in the paper that it's kind of just blowing my mind away that the flag was stolen from the Veterans Hall. Why would anyone steal a flag for? I can understand somebody when I steal one from the home or something for, for a prank or whatever, but from a veteran, people who fought for us, died for us, got wounded, to have the right to freedom of speech, to carry on our freedom in our country, but somebody go out there and steal the flag. Unbelievable how they would do that at a time of darkness when they were hidden and stuff. And then the same people that fought for us also protect the rights of an individual that was out in front of the high school with a sign, about religion and prayer in schools, against it. Gave him a right to do that. You know, it's unbelievable where we have people to this day, you know, complain about we can't pray no more because or we can't say or practice our religion because there's, but yet they'll go ahead and do everything anti-American, anti-civilization. Our country is built for freedom, to be here, to do things, to prosper, the right to pursue happiness. It's not a guarantee, but the right. But when we have a company, a business, freedom from religion out there telling us and our kids that we can't have prayer. But when have we had prayer and religion in schools? What's this real agenda out there? It's a non-issue. But yet, he's out there trying to promote himself and cause this discontent and people getting frustrated for something that is not an issue. But I just feel bad that here are servicemen that fought for us, get flags stolen, and you don't hear anybody yelling and screaming about that, but yet I'm just concerned that our society is just going down, and we just need to be cognizant in our own surroundings that it would protect the freedom that we still have and go forward. But anyway, that's all I have. I was kind of just concerned what's happening. I get kind of frustrated that I lose track, but it is unbelievable what goes on. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Grier. Mr. North.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If there's anybody out there who truly wants to fly the American flag and is unable to purchase an American flag to a point where they feel the need to steal somebody else's American flag, if you will come to City Hall, make yourself known, I will walk you down to True Value and I will buy you an American flag and help you hang it on your home so you can fly it without stealing it. How about that? That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. North. Appreciate that. Mr. Miller.
Thank you. I don't have anything tonight other than to let staff know that on the meeting of the 17th September, I will not be in attendance. I have a medical procedure. Other than that, hope everybody's having a great summer. Kids are back in school, and be careful out there.
Thank you. Mr. Waldron.
I too am very heartbroken that somebody would have to steal the veterans flag. It will be brought back and put up, and people should pay attention because there might be a camera up there this time. We got a light, and we're going to move the control locked box up higher where it'll have to have a ladder or something to get to it. But be careful because the next one will be on TV. And a gentleman came forward and offered to buy this flag. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's sitting next to Councilman Noor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waldron. Mention no names.
No names.
Thank you.
I just wanted to thank the community. I was just about late for the meeting tonight because I had forgotten Houchin was in town. And so on my way down, I skipped dinner, I skipped a reception, which probably had cookies. But I stopped and gave blood, and I always asked them how we did, and they were at 70-plus units donated today. It was a huge draw today, so kudos to the community and those who gave. And while we're talking about flags, as sad as it was the one that was being stolen, I will assure you that the first weekend in September, there will be flags flying throughout the community. Kiwanis Club will be placing them. We've had a few more additions to our list, and if you get a chance, drive down Center Street or other streets in Taft and look how nice it does look when flags are flying. And we have not had one stolen yet. We hope that doesn't happen. So thank you for everybody that contributed to that. So Anyway, moving on to Planning Commission report. I see Mr. Thompson is here, back from the coast.
Thank you, Council. Robert Thompson, Vice Chairman, Planning Commission. Planning, Wednesday, August the 17th, we seated Commissioner Sutherland for another 4-year term. Item number 1 was a zoning ordinance amendment, 2003-15, which was consideration of a zoning ordinance amendment to allow the recreation vehicle parks in the general commercial downtown area. That was approved on a 5-0 vote. Also, we had a site review, 2013, number 17, which is a consideration of approval for another proposed 16,000 square foot warehouse office building on a 2.8 acre lot there in the Black Gold Court, which is what we guys have been talking about. So we have another one coming. After that, we had the Planning Director report, which informed us on the Kern-Cog Regional Advisory Planning Committee and the Kern LAFCO Municipal Service Review. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Number 8, department reports. Are there any? The Chief.
Good evening. I have just a couple short items. One, as you know, we were invited to the West Kern Parks and Recreation District Board meeting. And I want to tell you, I've been here for a long time. It's the first time I got to go to one of the meetings. I enjoyed it very thoroughly. We are looking forward to working with the Parks and Recreation District to help them with some of their security needs and help us with some of our needs to help them. And we are eager to work with them on that. We will be having a public safety meeting here in the next couple of weeks, and they will be invited, and they are being encouraged to come help us with those issues. Along those lines, I want to talk a little bit about the skate park. As you know, the ordinance was passed. We had a 3-week time period that we had to let that sit. In addition to that, though, we've given them an additional week as of the end of this Friday that we've been going up. We've been attentive to it. We've been talking to the people with bicycles. They know they cannot be there. It's also been in the Midway Driller. We've verbally warned them, and as of Saturday will become the test. But I got to tell you, I've been by there many times this last week, and I see very few bicycles. I think the word is out. I'm hoping that we will not have to cite and take any bicycles from anybody, but in the event that there are those that will not listen, then we will certainly take care of business, so thank you for that. Last, I want to let you know about the citizen volunteers. We have 2 of them. We've never had less than the 2. They work in our property room, providing a valuable service to the city. But we are now going to expand that upon recommendation of staff. And because we know post AB 109 that it just can't be about catching bad guys anymore. It's going to have to be about prevention. So in order to expand that prevention concept, we will expand the citizen volunteers. It has been delegated to Sergeant Corey Bilby. He is excited about it. He is going to be working with our current citizen volunteers to work up a training plan, policies and procedures that update them. And then we will advertise, receive some volunteers. We'll have to background them. We will train them, and then I hope to come back to this council within the next couple of months and show you your new expanded citizen volunteers to assist the community in putting more eyes and ears out in the field for us, so we can have a better preventative tool for us to work with. And that's all I have. Any questions?
No, I'm very much for that. I was a citizen volunteer with the Sheriff's Department for 3 years, enjoyed that experience very much, and I hope that we get a lot of good candidates. It's all volunteer. You have to buy your own uniforms and all that, but yeah, really get to see the other side of the community too. And so it was. I just hope that we'll have some people step forward. They just have to be 21 or
over 21 and pass background,
and that's it. So it's pretty simple. Just got to be able to give some time to it.
Good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chief, if you would, you kind of glazed over it, but I want the camera to hear it because people listen to that. Beginning this Saturday, Police Department will be enforcing the new ordinance on the skate park, and if a bicycle is caught in there, it's confiscated and there is a citation issued.
First-time offense is $50, second time is $100, next time is $250.
But does each time warrant the
Each
loss
time
of
the bicycle will be taken as prima facie evidence of the violation and will only be released when the case has been adjudicated, and that means when they paid the fine.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate you clarifying that for us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, city manager statements. Mr. Jones.
Just wanted to say there's been a lot of minor thefts going on around town, and if people see something that don't look right, don't hesitate to call the police. We've had a few local businesses broke into again, and they took some items. And hopefully, if someone can catch these folks, they can call the police and we can arrest them. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, when you say minor thefts, when it's your stuff that's being stolen, I don't mean to,
What I meant by minor is they didn't come in and stick a gun in someone's face.
Yeah, right. But when it's your stuff,
not mine.
and it's stolen, and it's gone, and it's never coming back, it's pretty major to that person. So, that's part of being a good citizen of the community and good neighbor. When you see something suspicious, just call it in, 763-3101 or 911. So, police will respond as fast as they can, and it just makes our neighborhood and our business district safer.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 10, city attorney statements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing for this evening.
Thank you, sir. Item number 11 is future agenda requests. I know we talked about one earlier, but gentlemen, is there anything else that you would
Did
like?
we concur on that? All concur that we would have that on the next agenda?
Support resolution for the
HECA?
plan.
Yes. Yeah, I think we concur on that. Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, moving on to the consent calendar. Items 12 through 21. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the city council requests a specific item to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business item. And is there any items that you would like removed, gentlemen? Then, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar, item number 12, minutes of the August 6th, 2013 regular meeting. Item number 13, payment of bills. Item 14, 2013 West Kern Petroleum Summit sponsorship. Item 15, resolution of the City Council authorizing bank card services. 16, ratify emergency purchase of 2 printers, one for accounts payable, payroll, and 1 color printer for all users, location City Hall. Item number 17, Transportation Development Act Funds Annual Audit for 2011 and 2012. Item number 18 is Triennial Performance Audit of the City of Taft Transit Services. 19, request for qualifications, RFQ for municipal engineering services for the federal and state-funded projects. 20, change order to Wallace Group contract in order to modify the scope of work and rebid the project to complete the chlorination-dechlorination system for the federal wastewater treatment plant. And item number 21 is to ratify expenditures for emergency valve repairs at federal wastewater treatment plant.
Motion.
Thank you.
I want to be done. I want to be
You were
done.
waiting for that, weren't you?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. There's no discussion. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Wolder?
Yes.
Councilmember North?
Yes.
Councilmember Miller?
Yes.
Councilmember Fryer?
Yes.
Mayor Linder?
Yes, thank you. And I see a note here that prior to recessing to closed session, I have to open a meeting of the Taft Public Finance Authority and Taft Public Improvement Corporations. It appears the roll call will stay the same. I'm going to go with the Taft Public Finance Authority, and I will pass the gavel to Mr. Cryer. That's your job.
Thank you, Mayor. I call the order of the Taft Public Finance Authority annual meeting agenda, August 20th, 2013. Do we have roll call, or do we need to do that? Dispose of?
Stands.
just say it's already been
Okay.
turned back.
Okay, thank you. Roll call has never been called. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for August 21st?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
I don't get to do that very often.
I know. This is the first time.
Speedball.
We have to.
Board Member Linder,
Yes.
Board Member Walter,
Yes.
Board Member North,
Yes.
Board Member Miller,
Yes.
and Chairman Pryor.
Yes. Number 2, citizens' request for public comments.
And none.
Okay. Dispense that. Seeing of the new directors. Recommendation statement by Secretary of the Authority.
Go through and just choose who you want to be the chairman for the next 2 years.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend or motion that the officers remain the same for the next 2 years.
I'll second that.
We're just kicking his butt down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye. Is that okay with you, Mr. Chairman?
Do I have a choice?
No.
I know. Okay.
Okay, oh.
Then we have a-
Jumped ahead, you guys were all seated because you were elected, so.
Okay.
So we've appointed the next 2 years. Proceed.
Okay, I was following the directions here. And directions never lie. Okay, so we got election of office. Now, agenda items, consent calendar. Number 5 would be ratification of actions taken by officers of the Taft Public Finance Authority during fiscal year 2012-2013. Authorization of certain actions by officers of the Taft Public Financing Authority on behalf of the authority. And number 7, comparative analysis of changes in fund balances. Revenue bond of 1993 police station and redevelopment projects. And lease revenue bonds of 1997 CCF acquisition project.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Board Member Miller,
Yes.
Board Member Linder,
Yes.
Board Member Walter,
Yes.
Board Member North,
Yes.
Chairman Pryor.
Yes. I will close the Taft Public Financial Authority annual meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Cryer. And I will now open the Taft Public Improvement Corporation annual meeting agenda for August 20, 2013. And it looks like I need an approval. The roll call stays the same. And I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the August 21st, 2012 annual meeting.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Does this have to be roll call?
I think you can just do it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to item 2, seating of new directors. This is where you get the payback, huh? Statement of Secretary of the Corporation, recommendation. This is basically, we're looking to seat members of this particular corporation for the next 2 years, I believe. So, gentlemen, do you have a preference?
Mr. Mayor, I would recommend that we keep the officers the same way they are right now.
Figured he'd do that.
I would second that.
Well, we're seating the new directors.
Yeah.
So we're voting to seat them, is that what it is, Madam Clerk?
According to the corporate bylaws, based on the election last year,
Sure.
you're automatically seated as new members.
Okay.
So there's no vote?
No.
Okay.
You're
Very good.
automatically seated.
So we will move on to citizens' requests for public comments, and there are none, and therefore we will move on to consent calendar items 5 through 7, which include ratification of actions taken by the officers of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation during fiscal year 12-13. Item number 6, authorization of certain actions by officers of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation on behalf of the corporation. And item number 7, comparative analysis of changes in the fund balances.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
As
President, member.
Yes, ma'am.
Back to the
Sure.
election of the officers, keep officers as they were. You didn't vote on that.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, well, we
I thought something.
yeah, I kind of jumped ahead because I think we were trying to do two things at once there. So anyway, regarding the consent calendar, it's a 5-0 vote, and we'll move back to item number 3, election of officers.
Move that the board remain the same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Conversation, gentlemen? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, we're done. We will adjourn the meeting of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation, and at this time, the Taft City Council will go into closed session conference with property negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54956.8, 400 Hillard Street, and B, conference with labor negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54957.6, all units. Thank you for being here tonight. We are adjourned.